what I know. Better than the rest, just watch me grow. Put me to the test and watch me go. This is my quest, I'ma make it known. They call me obsessive, oh I know. Call me selective with my notes. Call me aggressive with my flow. Call me offensive even though Joe, I ain't gonna lie, life's tough. Try to get by, life's rough. Try to do it right.
Yeehaw, soldiers! It's your boy, the Anime Sage, coming to another video, and this is What Deku Diffusion Quirk Part 4. Well, this series is probably the second most popular series on my channel right now, so here's another part. Alright, first off, here's my schedule for this week. So, tomorrow will be What If Naruto Was Half Uchiha Half Senju Part 10, as we get into the final parts for that series. And then we're going to start a new series on Friday known as What If Naruto Had Haki. So that should be fun. Also, we hit 9K, let's go! We are like 1,000 away from, we're 1,000 subs away from 10K. This is amazing. The growth has been crazy lately. Thank you guys so much. Anyways, this is going to be a really fun week. Alright, watch me continue to tab like a hawk. You get vid updates, polls, the ability to select what ifs you want for the week, and of course, some other fun stuff in between, so watch me continue to tab like a hawk. Alright, time for some quick social media plugs. Twitter is at AnimeSage4, Instagram is anime_sage4, and join my Discord server. The link to that will be in the description. I'll give you all reasons to follow / donates at the end of the video, so watch until the end. Alright, time for usual checklists. If you haven't seen the last part, the link to that will be in the description. If you haven't seen the series at all, check out the playlist. I do apologize for not getting this out to you guys yesterday, but again, I had to make sure the script was great. But anyways, with all that out of the way, let's get right into the story. Alright, so with the last part, we just kicked off the Show versus Deku fight. Deku had just fused with titanium and smashes the ice. Quick fame. I am aware that titanium and ice don't necessarily mix, but the problem will only arises if Deku gets some ice stuck to him, so don't worry about that. And a big reason why Deku is using titanium is because it has more power to it. Anyways, Deku then grabs a bit of ice, but throughout the match, wants Show to use his quirk. However, he isn't as crazy about it as he was in Virtual Canon, but, you know, he still wants him to use it. Deku already has had a quirk for a very long time, and has never really gone over the craziness of, you know, not having one. But again, he does have one principle when it comes to his martial arts training and stuff like that, and it is to always fight at your best, which Shoto is not doing at the moment. So Deku will convince Shoto to use his flames like a cannon by saying, I understand where you are coming from, but your fire side is not your father's quirk, it's your quirk. It's yours to use, and how you use it is up to you. You don't have to be like your father, and using your fire side will not make you like your father. Shoto then has flashbacks. Deku then says, and besides, it would be disappointing if I didn't beat you at full strength. Shoto then uses his flames, then smiles, and then says, you're gonna regret making me use my flames. Deku smiles and gets ready for an impending attack. Shoto then unleashes a flame ice blast like a cannon, and all the blast is coming at him. Meanwhile, Deku diffuses with his titanium and fuses with something else. An explosion commences, and Shoto thinks he has won, but he is tired. However, when the smoke clears, Deku is still standing, but is in a different fusion form. It is stone-like, and Deku doesn't seem to have taken that much damage. Shoto then wonders what is going on. Deku then smiles and says, well, here's a new material I have fused with, that I got from a certain person. And by the way, that certain person is Night Eye. You see, this is special stone that has a lot of durability and defense, though it does lack some speed. However, this is just the type of occasion I can use this form in to defend myself from attacks like that. And this form allowed me to take the full force of it. The match is going to continue, and then Deku then diffuses and says, I think it's now time to display a more powerful fusion combination. Deku then reaches for Shoto's ice and grabs his metal as well. Deku then says, you see, I have not only been working on new materials to fuse with, but also the amount of materials I fuse with. Let me show you. Dual fusion! Deku then fuses with the objects and a flash of light occurs. He now has fused with Shoto's ice and his metal, which has created a dual fusion type form. His body's all metal, but his hands are ice. Shoto is amazed. Deku though knows he can only hold this form for a limited amount of time, 2 minutes to be more exact. Deku fires off some ice, and Shoto has to dodge. Shoto uses his ice, and then Shoto will melt some of the ice with his flames. Deku then pops out of nowhere and punches Shoto in the face. The punch sends Shoto flying, and then Deku fires off some ice just to make sure Shoto gets out of the rain. Shoto is out, and Deku wins and moves on to the next round. Momo and Chakra are amazed by Deku. Deku was able to beat Shoto, and while he definitely was a favorite to win, when he got that blast, it felt over. But when Deku turned around like that, it gave them a new respect for Deku. Kendo was watching this as well, and is amazed at what she saw. She had gotten eliminated earlier before anyone else, but she stuck around to watch Deku. And she was as amazed as everyone else was. Deku will defuse, and Shoto, who took the full front of the attack, is, you know, waking up a little bit. Deku goes up to Shoto and shakes his hand, and then Shoto is taken away to give him a bit of a checkup for injuries and stuff like that. Endeavor, who had watched the whole thing, is impressed with Deku and is glad Shoto used his fire side, but he is still a bit frustrated because Shoto lost. Deku would later learn his next matchup is against Ida. Deku would start getting ready and sees Kendo over, in the hallway and stuff like that. Deku then goes up and talks to Kendo, and, they can start a conversation. Kendo does wish she could have been there in a tournament, but she does admire Deku for his abilities and thinks he is incredible. Deku says that she's incredible as well, and she'll be an awesome hero one day. Kendo, kind of blushes a bit at hearing those words. The atmosphere is very familiar, as it seems as if it's the same atmosphere as when Deku was with Momo and Ochako before, Deku and Kendo look each other in the eyes, and Deku is awestruck by Kendo's beauty. And I mean, who wouldn't? And Kendo is amazed at Deku's cute but also handsome face. The two seem to be unconsciously inching their faces closer together and are about to kiss. They inch closer, and closer, and closer, until... Midoriya, our match starts soon. This snaps Deku out of his trance, and Deku has to race, as he won't want to be disqualified. Kendo is just sitting there, kind of mad that she got blocked by Ida. Then, out of nowhere, Momo and Ochako drag her, and decide to talk to each other about their plan. They all now can relate to one thing. They all like Deku, and they have all been blocked by Ida. Kendo then says, an Aram type of relationship? Yes, I'm still censoring myself. Momo and Ochako nod. Ochako says, you see, we can all relate to one thing, and that is that we all like Deku. We also have been in situations where we have almost kissed Deku, and we have had those moments rudely interrupted. We all have this love for Deku, and it would be a bit unfair for him to choose between one of us, when Japanese laws, kind of allow this type of stuff to happen. So let's all get what we want, and we can have Deku to ourselves. Kendo thinks about it and decides to agree, and all of them put their hands in the middle and break. Kendo then asks how are they going to tell him all this. Momo and Ochako then whisper to her, and then they all have this evil look on their faces. Back to the tournament, Deku and Ida face off. Deku fuses with his titanium again, and Ida at first will have the advantage because of his, turbo jet. And then Deku will use his ice that he got from Todoroki and fuse with it in another dual fusion form. Deku then stops Ida with the ice, and then Deku punches him out of the ring, and Deku advances to the finals. Ida is sad that he lost, but Deku says Ida did very well and that they should fight again. Ida is happy for his friend and hopes Deku can win the whole festival. Deku says he will, and Deku waits for who he faces in the finals. Momo, Ochako, and Kendo are happy for Deku and cannot wait to put their plan together after the festival. Deku then sees he will face Bakugo in the finals. Bakugo looks at Deku, and Deku looks at Bakugo and exchanges a stare only rivals can make with each other. Before the match, Deku and Bakugo have a bit of an exchange, Deku says, looks like we will be battling for first place. Know this, Bakugo. I will give you the fight of your life, as I am not going to hold back. Bakugo then says, neither will I, and I will beat you and make up for my loss to you in a battle simulation. Deku then says, we'll see about that. Deku and Bakugo will then go to the ring, and him and Bakugo will continue to stare at each other. The entire crowd wants to put their bets on who will win. Deku has been incredible this entire tournament and has shown not only great resilience this entire tournament, but also powerful strength as well as his fusion quirk. However, Bakugo has also been very impressive, and Deku has also used a lot of power, so he could have, less stamina for this fight. And they are right away, as Deku is a bit winded. The fight begins, and everybody is watching. Deku fuses with his titanium, and Bakugo will fire off his explosions. Deku will throw his own punches, but Bakugo wants to make sure he at least somewhat keeps his distance, so he doesn't get obliterated in close combat. Even with his improvements, he still has no chance against Deku when it comes to close combat, for obvious reasons, martial arts, Bakugo will fire off explosions, but Deku will keep dodging. Deku and Bakugo seem to be about even. Deku, though, is starting to get a bit more winded. Bakugo then smiles. Oh, so all that fighting you did and those dual fusions you did are starting to catch up to you, huh? Even though I fought in the same amount of matches, I used less energy. You, however, had to use more energy in your matches, especially those dual fusions. And that is the weakness of your quirk. Those fusions will always take up stamina, but the type of fusion you have been doing this entire tournament has used up the most stamina you have ever spent in your life. That is why I will win, as all I have to do is wait until he collapses from exhaustion. Deku grits his teeth, but then smiles and says, you're right, all you have to do is wait. But you wouldn't do that, wouldn't you? That would be too cheap for you. You want to beat me in any way possible without any excuses. Bakugo then smiles and says, you're correct. So how about I end this? Bakugo then unveils a move that Deku hasn't seen before. Bakugo then uses explosion to spin around, and Bakugo then says, Howitzer Impact! Deku, before the impact, fuses and fuses again, and you can guess what he fused with. An explosion occurs, and Bakugo feels that he has finally won. However, from the smoke, Deku in his stone form holds onto the ground for dear life, but is still okay. Bakugo is mad and says in his head, dang it, he fused again with that stone, just like he did with Icy Hot. Deku then looks to Bakugo and says, "Looks like that move cost you a bit of your own stamina. I for one may be winded, but I won't lose here." He then defuses with the stone. Deku smiles and says, "I think you know what is coming next." Bakugo then says, "Brain it!" Deku then dual fuses one more time, and Deku's in his titanium ice form. Deku then speeds away on his ice, and Bakugo uses explosions, though that last attack kind of took a little bit out of him. Deku fires off some ice, and Bakugo will continue to dodge, and then Bakugo will fire off some explosions, and Deku will continue to dodge that. Both fighters want to win this. They're hungry, and will do everything they can to win. Deku will fire off some ice until Bakugo carelessly catches himself in, Deku's ice. Bakugo will blow it past him, and then will get a punch to the face. Deku now has Bakugo where he wants him, and fires some ice, and will push Bakugo out of the stadium. Bakugo, as he's flying, sees himself losing, and he's witnessing defeat, and that really makes him angry. He doesn't want to lose, not like this. Bakugo then fires off some explosions and saves himself from a rain out. The crowd goes wild as this is the best match by far. Deku says, "I should have known you wouldn't lose that easily. You always had that fighting spirit. Though right now, you're in the same position I am in." Bakugo then smiles and says, "Well, you are right. How about we really end this?" Deku nods. Both go for one final strike. Bakugo raises an explosion, but Deku catches one of his hands in ice, and before Bakugo can blast it off, Deku will kick him up, and then Deku will use the ice to boost him up, and then fires off some ice down onto Bakugo, which will put Bakugo down on the ground. Bakugo is down at the moment, but doesn't want to give up, and gets the ice off of him by, blowing up, but then Deku punches him in the face, and then Bakugo is then down. Bakugo is down on the stadium ground, but he doesn't want to give up, and gets the ice off of him, but then Deku punches him in the face. Bakugo is down again. Deku is right now exhausted and only has 30 seconds left in his form. Bakugo is slowly getting up, but then Deku fires off some ice, and this time, Bakugo is out of the ring and is knocked out. Deku has just won a sports festival. The crowd cheers. Momo, Ochako, and Kendo are so happy for him. They all come to the same conclusion that Deku is really amazing. Bakugo is then taken away, and Deku then goes down on all fours and then collapses, but is taken care of by midnight, and he's taken to, a room to rest. Deku will wake up and hears that he was out for a little bit as he used up a lot of energy. Deku then sees Ochako, Momo, and Kendo coming into his room, and they're all happy for him that he won and that he's also okay. Deku wonders how Bakugo is doing, and he is told that he's fine as well, and Deku's happy about that. Ochako then says tonight after the ceremony and everything, they all want to meet up so they can talk with Deku, and Deku says sure, and the girls will leave with some smirks on their faces. Later on, the ceremony will commence, and All Might will present, the medals. Bakugo is relatively calm and isn't angry like he was in canon, and the reason for that is he may have lost, but he did try his best. He is angry in general that he did lose, but isn't a situation like in canon, which might actually play a part later. Togami is given his medal for his performance, which is third place. Bakugo was given his second place medal, which he just looks down at, and then All Might gives Deku his first place medal. Deku is really happy, and Bakugo is just looking at him, and Deku knows Bakugo will probably talk to him later, but who knows, it could be either, good or bad. Bakugo then approaches Deku as he is walking. Bakugo then says, "It looks like you won a sports festival, and beat me to get that first place medal." Deku nods and says, "You did really well yourself. I mean, I almost felt like at certain points during the match that I was going to lose. You truly are a worthy rival." Bakugo then says, "You may say that, but I still lost to you, and I know that I need to improve myself. Alright, I did feel close to you during that match, and I will improve myself so I can beat you. And then I will show you that I am better than you and will become the #1 hero." Deku then says, "You do that. I'll just do what I can to maintain this gap between us, and I will aim for a top spot myself." Deku then, go into an "oh yeah, yeah," and then both of them wish each other luck, and then shake hands. Later on during the night, Deku will meet his girls, and he sees all of them, are there. They showed up, Momo will then say, "So you showed up. Welcome, Izuku." Ochako at this point is making sure Ida is not around. Deku then says, "So, what is this about?" Momo then says, "Well, I was told by these girls that you have been in near-kiss experiences with them." Deku then kinda blushes a bit, and he's shocked that he's being confronted about all this. Kendo then says, "So we want you to answer this question. Who do you want to choose as your girlfriend?" Deku's just flabbergasted when he hears that. Ochako then says, "The truth is, we all love you, Deku, but you can only choose one of us, so who are you gonna pick?" Deku then looks at all of their serious faces, and right now he is torn. He loves all of the girls and doesn't want to choose between any of them. After much thought, he feels like he cannot come to a decision as he loves all the girls too much. Deku then says, I cannot make this decision. The girls then are internally, grinning, but then they keep their serious faces on and say, why not? Deku then says, it's because I love you all equally, and I cannot choose between any of you. It's way too much for me. I cannot bear breaking any of your hearts. The girls then grin, and then Momo says, well, you don't have to choose between any of us, because we would all love to be your girlfriend, which is why you can date all of us. Deku is just kind of shocked by all this. Deku then says, kind of like my own Aram. The girls all nod, and Deku then remembers the laws about Japan, as having multiple wives is legal, though there's a max of 5, and usually isn't encouraged, but is allowed. So Deku doesn't see anything morally wrong here, and agrees to it, and kisses all his new girlfriends. Deku then says goodbye, and all of them go their separate ways. Deku will later get his internship with Sir Night-Eye, as that was the deal. He walks into Night-Eye's agency, and he is glad to see him along with Mirio. Deku is also introduced to Bubble Girl, and, that's, going pretty well. Deku then goes for next week training with Mirio, which, Mirio's getting stronger, Deku's getting stronger, it's getting pretty good. He also gets a couple new materials from Night-Eye, which we'll get to later. He will also over the week spend some time playing dates with his girls, but will keep it on the low as he doesn't want, to 1, get embarrassed, or 2, ridiculed. So him and the girls will plan some dates in, private, and they'll go relatively well. Deku is pretty happy right now, and his life is going pretty well for him. He'll also, pick a hero name during this week, which I'll let you guys determine on a poll after this video releases. I got a couple names that I really do like, so yeah, I'll let you guys vote on what Deku's new hero name will be, because I think he needs a new hero name for this scenario, but I'll still call him Deku just, for narration purposes, while all this was happening, Ida had learned that his brother was in a hospital and was attacked by a certain person named Stain, which might have been a reason why he never interrupted the moment between Deku and his girls this time. Deku has noticed this and feels sorry for Ida, but he's also worried something could happen, as he's concerned about where he chose to take in his internship and some other stuff with Ida at the moment. He's been acting a little bit, not himself. In the next part, we will go over to host the city attack, and this will be a bit of a different scenario, and the battle that could happen is going to be a bit different. And how it all go? Find out in the next part. Thank you all for watching part 4 of What If Deku Had a Fusion Quirk. This is a fun series for me to write, and I cannot wait to see how this, all goes in the end. Again, I would have written the host of City Attack, but I wanted to take my time with that, so I'm going to save you all, that stuff for later. Make sure to watch me continue to tap like a hawk, that's pretty important. Get ready for this week, it will be lit. Hockey Naruto and Happy have sent you Naruto, that's going to be great. Finally, follow me on Twitter for another way to get notified on videos, Instagram for memes or fun stuff like that, and finally join my Discord server for access to supplementary content, notifications when I live stream ahead of time, and of course, the ability to suggest me ideas directly. Also, I am 2 followers away from getting to 300 followers on Twitter, so please let me get to 300 followers, please. Anyways, these are all great ways for you guys to interact with me, so follow me on Twitter and Instagram. But most importantly, follow me on Twitter. Thank you guys for 9K again. 10K, you will get there hopefully by the end of July, so let's get there. That's all I have to say. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share the video. This has been your boy, the Anime Sage, signing out. Peace. Yorta. Stephanie Shea, close us out. Bye-bye. Peace.
Hi, this is Stephanie Shea, voice actress for Sailor Moon, Hinata, Orihime, and you are watching Anime Sage.